Let's get creative today. I've got these beautiful vessels. What should I do with them? Well, let's start with putting in a wick. I'm going to make sure that they're all centered nicely. These look great. Now let's get them stable and get them ready to pour some wax. Hi, I'm Mona with Just My Candles, and now we're going to get to some really fun stuff. So we've made our vessel and it dried out, and then we sealed it properly so that we won't have any leakage through our vessel. And now we're going to actually fill it with wax. So come on with me and I will show you the process. Okay, now we're going to get into the fun part, candle math. People get a little bit afraid of anything with math in it, but I'm telling you, this is not that difficult once you kind of understand where the numbers are coming from. So the first thing I need to do is figure out how much this vessel holds. And I want to know how much wax it holds, but I don't want to pour wax in it and figure it out that way. So what I want to do is I'm going to weigh it, clear out my scale to 0, and I'm going to fill the vessel with water. Whatever that weight is, I'm going to mark that down. So when I measured this, I got 8 ounces of water. Now water and wax don't have the same weight. So you've got to do a formula. You take the weight of the water, which is 8 ounces, and you multiply it by 0.89, and I get 7.12. 7.12 ounces is what's going to fill up that vessel. But I can't just stop there because I got to take into consideration my fragrance oil. That's going to take up some of that volume too. So I kind of need to back that fragrance oil amount out of that 7.12. So the formula for that is 7.12 divided by, and the percentage comes from, divided by 100 plus whatever the percentage of fragrance oil you're going to use. So I'm going to use 10%. So my formula would be 7.12 divided by 110%. That gives me 6.5 ounces. Okay? 6.5. 6.5 is what's going to be wax. So what am I going to fill the rest of that up with? I'm going to fill it up with fragrance oil. So go back to our original number, 7.12, and subtract the 6.5, and that leaves me 0.62. So I know that I am going to use 6.5 ounces of wax, and I'm going to use 0.62 ounces of fragrance oil. Now that is for one vessel, but I want to pour 4 vessels. So I'm going to have to multiply those numbers by 4. So I get 6.5 times 4, and I get 0.62 times 4. And I will let you know what that comes to. Okay, after a little bit of quick math, I got the total. I'm going to use 26 ounces of wax, and I'm going to use 2.48 ounces of my fragrance oil so that I can make a batch of 4 candles. All right, so let's go over that formula one more time. Water weight was 8 ounces. 8 ounces times 0.89 equals 7.12. 7.12 ounces is going to fill the whole vessel. You take the 7.12 and divide it by 110%. The 110% comes from the percentage of fragrance oil that I'm going to add, which is 10%, and add that to 100%. So 7.12 divided by 110 equals 6.5 ounces. Then I take the 7.12 and I subtract the 6.5 and I get 0.62. That's my fragrance oil amount. So you take the 6.5 ounces, it's going to be wax, and you're going to add the 0.62 of fragrance oil. If I add those two together, I'm going to confirm that my total fill weight is 7.12. Okay, now I am going to pour out my wax into my pitcher, and we're gonna add the fragrance oil. So I'm using soy, and the recommended temperature to melt it was 185. I'm at 185, and I am gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pour out my, remember we said we needed 26 ounces of wax. So I've measured out my pitcher, and I put it on my scale, and I put it at 0. And I am going to pour in 26 ounces. So you just have to keep pouring, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. And then let's weigh it and see where I am. I just don't want this to drip on my floor. And I am at 23.65. I want to get to 26. I'm close. Let's see. 27.3. You may find yourself going back and forth a little bit just to get it right. One more little. I am at, still not quite there. Boom, 26. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my fragrance oil. I've already measured it out. And in this measurement, I've got 2.48 ounces of fragrance oil. So let's pour that in. I wanna pour that in when my wax is at about 170, 180. Now I want to make sure that I get this completely mixed in. If you don't mix in your fragrance oil, sometimes your fragrance oil will kind of seep up to the top of your candle. And you've got to have it hot enough, because there's a chemical reaction between the fragrance oil and the wax, where the fragrance oil actually becomes part of the wax. It incorporates into the structure of the wax. So I'm going to keep stirring this for 2 minutes until it's incorporated. Okay, my wax is stirred in with the fragrance oil, and it's dropped down to about 160 degrees, which is perfect for pouring. So I put my vessels on a tray, that way if I spill anything, I won't have a big mess. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pour in my wax. Just kind of pour it in slow so it doesn't get a bunch of bubbles. Keep pouring. These smell great. This is cinnamon bun. Smells super yummy. Pour my last one. And I'm going to top off whichever ones need it. And I want you to see that is every bit of my wax, 100%. I had 0 wasted, and it filled up 4 vessels perfectly. So now we're going to let this sit and cool down, and then we're going to let it cure for 2 weeks. It's so hard to wait. When you make a candle, you want to burn it immediately, but you got to let it cure. That's what's going to incorporate that fragrance oil into the wax and make it smell great when you burn it. If you enjoyed watching this video on how to make candles, please subscribe to my channel, give it a like, and keep following me for more things. Go make a candle.